Alright, I'm just making a quick video of the garden progress that we have going on right now, July 19th, 2024. And we've been growing a garden in this yard for a couple years now, and the yard keeps transitioning. It needs a lot of work, but it has a really good base. So I thought I'd make this video so we could see some progression throughout the years and maybe even do some date comparisons, how things are doing in our gardens. This year seems to be a pretty decent year. This yard is primarily maple trees and oak trees. You can see our dog pen there on the left. And these really gigantic old hollowed out maples are kind of cool. I kind of think they need to come down sometimes because they can be the home of varmints and such. And here's our garden. Down the right we have some raspberries that we tried transplanting, and some of them lived and some of them died. We're just gonna see what comes back this year. And those are 2 raised beds that are new this year to our garden. Our little apple tree fenced in right there, and the neighbor's garden on the right. So this is the 2nd year for that apple tree, and it is producing apples, so I think that's pretty good. And the raised beds with this archway for some cucumbers to climb up, so we'll see how that does in the later months. Lots of flowers at the end of rows, and the corn all got knocked over just 5 days ago by a big wind, and it stood right back up again. They were flat on the ground, so if anybody's gonna give up on their corn, don't do so until you give it a chance. Sunflowers, and then lots of lilies and roses in that front flower bed. We built that archway last year, and those raised flower beds last year as well. This year I went with 2 sprinklers. I mounted one on top of the archway and one at the other side of the garden, and they're on auto timers in the middle of the night. Seems to work pretty well. That dill is volunteer from last year. We did not have to grow it. And some pumpkins. This side of the garden's all new. This was all tilled just recently, and you can see in the grass there beyond the garden, the old garden was in a C. We moved it to this location closer to the house. Three-strand electric fence isn't because our neighbors have sticky fingers, it's because there's a lot of deer here. And we need to guarantee that this doesn't just get eaten right off, because there is enough deer down here to do significant damage. As that apple tree at the end of the garden here was stripped right off this last winter, so I even have to keep up the electric fence when the garden's not growing. But it seems to have come back pretty good. Not too shabby. This garden's not perfect for weeded, but it's pretty clean, so it was a good time to take a video. I was just going to go to maximum altitude. I can see on the right that I have a shingle got blown off on my house from the big wind, so climb up there right after the video and put that back on. We live on a lakefront. We don't use lake water for our garden, I just use the well water. I would like to transition to the lake water. We'll see what next year brings. I said this year was the year, and it didn't happen. You can see that C in the grass, just kind of left of the garden as we come down, as that's the old garden location. And it grew very well, but we wanted it moved up to the house and a little bit bigger, so we worked up another garden. This place keeps us pretty busy, and fills the freezer, so it's a good size. Trying to tell my wife it doesn't need to be bigger, but good luck winning that argument. So we'll see what next year brings. Keep adding more raised beds and things off the side of the garden, so it is getting bigger. That's a little solar fencer that we have there just to power the electric fence. I had 4 sprinklers in this garden last year, and I think there was a lot of overlap, so I just went with 2 this year. Our water has a lot of minerals in it, so it stains the siding on the house a little bit and stains some things that it touches, but the garden is not affected. The trees need some trimming and some love here. That big pile of weeds there is a big pile of rotted manure that I got from a farmer. Not just too lazy to pick them, just no sense. I think they'll grow right back anyway, so I'm just gonna let them die there. And there was no spray applied to anything in the yard this year, so there is some weeds up the side of the laneway and such. But overall, pretty happy with how the place is looking. It's coming together. I look forward to doing this video maybe one more time this year when stuff's closer to be ready, and again next year.